Welcome back to Dubsy Bricks and another episode of Building Jabba's Palace. So this week we're hoping to get a lot of work done on the two towers here. So I still need to get a load of filler brick to go inside this one here. And I need to build that right up before I can go any higher. Now bearing in mind, this is only 2/3 of its actual height at the moment. There's a lot of filler brick we need to get in there. So trip to the Dublin Lego store, that's going to be required without a doubt because we are so low on brick and plate on the filler brick side. I think after this mock, we're never going to have to buy any more again, touch wood. Anyway, one thing we can do is do some of the rock work as well. So I want to change the terrain down here a little bit. So this bit here I want to bring out a little bit at some stage, and I also want to have some more bits here so that it looks more like there's some channels down the bottom. And as I mentioned last week as well, I want to put something up the top here as well, so again I can have another little storytelling section along that part. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to start off by doing the terrain, get a little bit of that done, and then once we've done that, by the time we've done that, it'll be time to go to the Lego store hopefully, and then we can make a start on improving those buildings. So anyway, let's get to it. And we've started off by destroying this end of the rockwork here. So we're going to bring it along here. As you can see, we started doing the outline of it. And I'm probably going to bring it close to the end here, possibly about 6 or 8 slides short of the edge of the mock. And it's not going to be too high. It's gradually going to get higher as we get back. And then somewhere along there goes one of the smaller towers. And I think another one goes over on this side as well as another one just where the skiff is down there. Now in Return of the Jedi, I think the tower there will be a lot further down, but I do still want to add it into the mock, so it's not going to be screen accurate, but at least it'll be on there. And there we have 2 sections of rockwork all started. So we've done the light tan, as you can see at the bottom there. This is one which is going to have a tower on. This one's just purely to break it up a bit more, just to give a little bit more storytelling. And then again at the top, we got the 2 sections up there that I mentioned earlier, where we're going to have a barrier or some rocks, just to separate these 2 parts of the mock, just again so I can just do a little bit more or another story along that section there. So now we put the tan in there. We're going to use the dark tan, and as you can see, we haven't got a great deal of that, but we'll get as much done as we can with the parts available. And we've managed to get the 2 rocks all finished at the top there, using a couple of different techniques. We've got them for the snot technique as well as stacking them up. And really pleased with how that one's come out, a lot of detail on that. And it's been a case of trying to use up every single dark tan slope that I've got. As you can see, I've run out over here, so we're going to be going to plates until we find a few more. But I'm really pleased with how this is extended out, so we can now build the tower on there. And we've got a few more details to do. And obviously we've got this one in the centre here as well, which is all pretty much finished as well. We will be putting a few little details on, like cheese wedges and things like that, as and when we come across them. But as you can see, the terrain all around here is all very plain, so we need to do a lot of work on that and also up here. So that's what we're going to turn our attention to next. So let's go and get some plates out and any other tan slopes and bits and pieces like that we can come across, and we'll check back in once we've made some progress. And here is the landscaping that we've managed to get done on here, and really happy with how this is looking. A lot of it is just the 1x1 square plates, and we've put quite a few of those all over. We have got a fair few left, so we can carry on doing a little bit more. And the same again up here. We've used a lot of the 2x4s and then 1x1s on top of that, and tried to just make it as varied as possible. And even over here, we've used a slope and some bricks. We've got to put some more plates up against that, but we are getting ridiculously low on the tan stuff now. But yeah, it's certainly coming on. But what we're going to do now is we're going to be turning our attention to the towers. And here we have the centre of the main building all filled in, so it's nice and solid there. It's about 320 of the 2x2 filler bricks. These ones here are what we picked up off the big brick wall last time we were in Dublin. And there's also about 50 of the 1x10s in the black there, let alone all the plates. We then put a row of tiles all the way around the edge, and then we put the hinges as before all the way around there, and every pillar is going to be 4 studs wide. So on this previous one we had one row which was 2 studs, but where we've gone in, that's just worked out perfectly for that. So you build all this up, and then we can do the remainder of the filler brick on here ready for the roof. But I think we're going to need to take another trip to the Lego store to get the rest of the filler brick just to finish this tower off, let alone the other small tower that we've got to do, the tall one. So, but then once we've done that, that will be the end of the filler brick that we need. So I think probably need to get another 300 bricks, I reckon. But anyway, let's get building these walls up, and then we'll check back in once we make some progress. And here we have the big tower all built up. So we're pretty much at the height that we need to be for putting the roof on now, or the next section, should I say. I think it comes out and then goes back in again. And as you can see, we've got a grey line around it, and that's the hinge bricks, which is just holding all of these in place. What we still need to do is fill the centre of that all in, which is going to take a lot of bricks, and another probably 320 2x2s and another 50 of the 1x10s. But we'll need to get some of those in so we can carry on doing that. But yeah, pleased to get that part done. Anyway, let's now move our attentions over to the tall tower and see what we can get done on that one. And here we have the top of the tall tower, and as you can see, we've gone for about another 9 or 10 bricks high on here. The grey line here are hinge pieces, and that's purely to keep its shape. Otherwise these would be so fragile they would just snap off whenever I sort of like go to do anything further on the top of here. So that's all good now. I need to go probably about another 4 or 5 bricks high before we start using the arches to come out, and then we'll be attaching the roof section on there. But as I said, run out of the 2x's on the bricks. I need to get a load of those in, and I think I'm going to have to look to see if there's anybody in Ireland on Bricklink that I can get a whole host of pieces, because a lot of the pieces I'm going to be needing for doing the roof section on here are so expensive on lego.com. I'm going to see what we can find on Bricklink. And here are the 3 towers, and as you can see, quite a bit more of height has gone into the towers. This one here is a lot taller now and ready for the roof section. This one we need to go a little bit taller on there before we start with the bits that come out on there. But I'm considering actually going in another row on there before we do the roof section. So we're experimenting a little bit with that, but we need some more bricks in order to do it. This one here, we have had some of the plates come in that go just here. So we can actually take this section off now, take it back to the table and make a little bit more progress on that one. So let's do it. And progress has started on the roof section here. So as you can see, we've got the little indentation here within the wall, and then we've made a start on doing the roof section on here. So we're just in the panels at the moment. So I think we're just going to need the 2 rows of panels here, and then that should be far enough up, and then I can just put some sort of like dish on the top of the whole building there. But yeah, really pleased with how that's coming on. I was at one stage going to tile these off, but I think it's probably going to be better to have the studs on there, because you can't get rid of the studs on that bit, so give it more of a consistent look over the top of that. But anyway, let's carry on building these panels onto here, and we'll check back in once we finish doing so. And there we have the first dome roof all completed, and really happy with how that's come out. It's got just the right curvature to it for what I'm looking for. There are a few gaps in between the plates, as you can see there, but there's no way getting around that on a model of this sort of like scale, this size. But really happy with how it's come out. So yeah, that's 1 down and 2 to go. And here we have the start of the slope that's going to be going around the top of the big tower. So at the bottom it's a plate that's working out 4x7, and on the top obviously it's 4x6, and it's kept together by a hinge in the middle there, which is allowing it to slope down. We've put some wedge plates, and I'm going to put those, they're the 2 wide by 4 long. They're going to be every other plate just to fill that little bit of a gap in on there. And what I'm probably going to do is tile that off, because I think the smooth look, or smooth sort of like tile look on there will be a lot better. Obviously we still need to fill the entire section in there with the filler brick, and as I mentioned earlier on, it was like 320 odd bricks just to do the previous section, so that's how many more of those we're going to need as well. So there's a lot of bricks going into these towers, as is in the entire mock, but I'm really loving the look of these towers. I think it's really coming on, and I'm capturing the vision I had when I first decided I wanted to do this mock, and when I pan out, so like from here, I'm really happy with how that's coming on. There is so much more work that needs to be done over here with the landscaping, but again, we did do quite a bit with the landscaping over here and obviously down here as well. And these sections here I want to amend a little bit because they're a little bit too square, blocky on there, and we've got like a whole tub of 1x1 studs that I got off the pick a brick wall a long time ago, so we can do a lot more detailing all the way along here. And I will also sort of like do a little bit more down this end as well. But yeah, it's certainly getting there. What we need to do is try and find a bricklink store in Ireland so we can get a pretty quick delivery, so I can carry on doing this sort of like these sections. And for the next update, we're going to order in a whole host of sort of like different plates that I think I'm going to be using for the roof section. The problem I'm having with this is I need to finish ones as part of it before I start the next, because I have no idea. I'm making this up as I go along, obviously, which is the same as on here. Originally I was going to be putting a sort of like a like satellite dish upside down on there, and what we've ended up doing is using wedge plates and circular plates, and I think it just works well, and I think that's how we're going to just carry on doing it, just make it up as we go along. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps the channel to grow and helps others to find it. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And share it with family and friends. Anyway, thanks for walking on by. See you next time. Bye for now.